Today we'll be playing episode 3 of Dark Things, the Panopticon. It is difficulty 5, so it is the hardest one out of the episodes yet, and has a 50-minute about average playtime if it's the first time you're playing it. So in this episode, we'll be helping the director trying to find the person who sent him a death threat, as well as finding the missing curator. So what we want to do first is find the curator because he has an inventory of all the items in the museum. So we want to know if there's any fake things in the museum or anything that's missing to see if the person who sent the death threat has stolen anything. So what we're trying to do first is find the curator, and the curator we have to find on the first floor. He isn't actually on the first floor, but we do need to check out the museum anyway. So if we go into the third room and look around, although there isn't anything in here, you can check the bat to get some guano, which is basically bat poop. So as Miss Cole says, it's obvious the exhibition hall doesn't have the curator in it. So if we go back to the director and tell him that. So obviously the curator isn't in the exhibition hall, so we want to get down to the basement, but we need a key card to go there, and it seems like the director can't find it. So if you press on the desk, you'll find a magazine. Now we just need to look around the office, and eventually, if you click on enough things, Mr. Doe will say that the key card isn't there. So Mr. Doe does a ritual to talk to spirits to find it. Now if you just press the buttons as Miss Cole tells you what to press, if you do get them wrong, then you do have to start from the beginning. So fire, earth, air. Fire, earth, fire, water, fire, air. Fire, earth, fire, water, water, fire, air, earth, air, water. I don't think I clicked that right. Okay, so you have to go back to the beginning. Fire, earth, air. Fire, earth, fire, water, fire, air. Fire, earth, fire, water, fire, air. Earth, air, water. The last one's a long one, so you might want to write this down to get it. Fire, air, earth, air, water, fire, air. Fire, earth, earth, fire, water. So the spirits tell you it's somewhere here on the first floor. So if we go back into the hall and you press on the blue book, Mr. Doe gets like a eureka moment and realizes that the key card is actually inside the magazine because that's where nobody would look. So we'll go back to the director and press on the desk. Now we can go down, and if you go into the first vault, you can see that the wardrobe is locked. So we want to find the keys. The keys are on the executioner, so if you go to him and then press a little gold part and you get the keys. Now go down and you can use the keys in the lockpick to open both. Use both of them to open the wardrobe. Now that we found the curator, he's a bit parched, so we need to get him some water to get him to talk. So if you go back up into the exhibition hall and get the golden cup, which is in this room. Now it does have poison in it, so don't want to let him drink that. So if you pour the poison out into the plant in the director's room, so someone locked him in, and we can ask him about the second vault, which is locked, as well as the director. He doesn't really say much about either of them, apart from the fact that the director wears pink socks, which does become important later on. Now, if we try and open the second vault, it shows these pins, but it doesn't let us open it because it's too complex, and as Mr. Doe says, you can make up for lack of dexterity with a surfeit of luck. So what we need is to make a luck potion. The third vault is also locked. If you try to put the lock pins in, it doesn't let you do anything. So we need to fire the cannon at it to open it. However, we need to find all the ingredients to make the cannon work, and we need to open the second vault for that first. You can stick the bat guano in there though. And if you check the box with the sword in it, you'll also find some scissors, which comes in handy later on. Now to make that luck potion, the ingredients are on one of the tiles, well, on the stone in one of the rooms. So if you take a picture of that like he asked, and it tells us that we need the hair of a witch, a symbol of fortune, and the wool of a pink sheep. So the hair of a witch we can get from Miss Cole. We also need this gun. Well, not gun, but a lighter. And then we can get the wool of a pink sheep from the director's pink socks, like the curator said. We also need some water as the base for our potion. And finally, we need something that is lucky. So we can get the horseshoe from here. Now if you stick these all into the cauldron, pour the water in, and then light it up. Now put in the horseshoe, the pink sock, and the hair. Now if you try and drink it, Mr. Doe will literally douse himself in it. Now we want some coal, which is part of the ingredients we need for the cannon. So if you fill up the cup and then extinguish the flames, you get some coal. Put the coal into the cannon. Now we need some sulfur, which is inside the second vault. So if we try that again, it's a combination and I can't quite remember it. Let's see. Okay, if you do it in that order, the door will open. And if you check inside the little gold dragon's mouth, you can find some sulfur. Put that sulfur inside the cannon, and then we need to find a cannonball to put inside the cannon to fire it, obviously, which you can find at the executioner's room again. Oh yes, one thing we didn't do earlier, which probably should have done that, it was the inventory book, which we were going after the curator for in the first place. So let me just put that ball in there, and then we can go get that book. So if you press on the desk, you can get the book. Obviously the pages have been ripped out, so if we go up and find the pages, it's dotted around in the exhibition hall. One is on the witch. And the last two on the two torture equipments. So it says there's no items missing, so there's not much to do with that inventory book, but you do have to complete it. Now we go back down to the cannon, we can light it up. Now if you look inside the green box, it's a wax figure of the vampire, so we need to solve this sliding tile puzzle. Now, if you don't know how to solve a sliding tile puzzle, you can always follow this. So to do any sliding tile puzzle, really, you need to first of all get the first two corners in the correct place. Now, if you know what's in the third position, put what's meant to be in the third position in the fourth position, and then what is meant to be in the fourth position directly underneath the fourth position. This might be a bit confusing, but I swear it makes sense. Okay, so the first tile isn't meant to be that one. It is, let's see. So the one with the little hand poking out is meant to be in that position, I think it was. The white part of the face is in the second position, which is right. And the blank tile with nothing on it, I think, is meant to be in the fourth position. So we slide that over, we now have the full first row complete. Now to do the first column, we need to do basically what we did in the first row, get the first tile right, which is okay. The tile underneath that we need, which is the arm. While doing this, don't move the first row. Now we put what is meant to be in the third position in the fourth, like we did last time. So let me just figure out which one is that. So if that goes there, then okay, so this is what's meant to be in the third tile. So if you put that down into the fourth and then get the foot which is meant to be on fourth and put it directly behind, then switch all the positions out to get that whole column correct. Now we want the second row. So we already have the first tile on the second row in the correct position. So now that we have all that done, Now we just need to get the last 6 boxes in the correct place. Now, there isn't any specific way to do this, you just kind of need to look it out, but there we go. So we know that there is an extra vampire. We saw a vampire earlier in the exhibition hall, but one of the fake ones is in here. So if we go back to the exhibition hall and interrogate the vampire. I think it was if you poured water into the vampire's face, I wasn't really sure. I'm just going to use a cookie to figure this out. Oh, okay. So vampires don't show a reflection, so if we use this mirror... So whether you show cruelty or solidarity, I'm pretty sure it ends up with the same ending anyway. So I'm just going to go with solidarity. So he basically didn't want to be in the basement for all his life, which is why he stayed up there, and he just wanted to have some fun. So the vampire didn't. So which is why the vampire went and locked up the curator. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of this episode. And Miss Cole has a sneaking suspicion that he's a vampire. Obviously, we know the truth from playing episode 2. And that's the end of episode 3. Next time, we'll be doing episode 4, The Place. If this video helped you, please do like. Thank you.